Howdy folks, and welcome to another episode of Mingles with Jingles. It's been a bit stressful this episode so far, hasn't it?
Yes.
Everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. We managed to record the first 15 minutes before realising that the microphone wasn't turned on.
Oh, Jingles. We'll edit that out.
Yeah. Oi, my line. And then we realised that the microphone had actually, the battery cover had fallen off.
Yeah.
The battery was lying on the floor, and then we couldn't find the battery cover, so the microphone is now being powered by a battery that's held in by masking tape.
Yeah, I went MacGyver with it. It's like, no, we're not gonna cancel this week. I'm gonna fix this.
And not only that,
yeah,
because it was when we started doing these sort of video type, I realised that Mingles with Jingles was a video anyway, but this kind of Mingles with Jingles, I actually started printing out a script, and the printer's running out of ink. So if you see me doing this, trying to read the script, that's why. It's only the first 2 pages though. Oh,
I mean, that's the way it looks. It's almost like you learned some alien language while you were doing some dangerous...
It's like Predator script.
Yes! So this week, let's do the thing.
New t-shirts.
Yes.
There we go.
T-shirts. It says, it's dangerous to go alone. Take these. Take a Jingles with you.
A couple of new t-shirts arrived from QWERTY. You'll see the other one next week. Or maybe one of the other ones that are on the way from QWERTY next week. We'll see. Also, our Beer of the Week segment is...
it's already been spoiled.
It's already been done, you know, we've already tasted them. But to let you in on the gag, Rita, what are you drinking this week?
Kolsch.
Rita's drinking Kolsch.
Yeah.
I ordered a bunch of beers. 1 Oktoberfest beers and 1 Belgian Trappist beers. So the Kolsch came in the Oktoberfest package, and you weren't looking forward to it, were you?
So generous of you to give me beer, Jingles.
Yeah, well, she chose the Kolsch.
Yes.
Because the other beer, do you remember a couple of weeks back I was trying some non-alcoholic beer? And we got this Erdinger stuff, which is basically just an isotonic sports drink that happens to have foam on it. Well, they actually do proper beer as well. Well, here it is, Erdinger, also in the Oktoberfest beer pack that I ordered. And I actually don't mind this stuff. This isn't bad.
It's it smells less sweet, but it has no flavor. I drink it and I don't have any flavor. The only thing I feel is a fizz.
yeah, I can get that.
This one, it very interestingly smells like Portuguese beer, like Sagres or Surper Bock, but then when you taste it, it's just not as good. Sorry, it's true.
Apologise to Germany now. Actually, it's Kolsch.
No, Germany makes
Kolsch.
some really good beer, but...
It's Kolsch, it's okay. The rest of Germany understands.
Yeah.
You see, the reason Kolsch... Because when you go to Cologne, because you can't get, unless you're in an Irish bar, you can't get anything that isn't Kolsch served to you in Cologne. Yeah. It's like they refuse to serve anything that isn't Kolsch. And there's a whole bunch of different breweries around Cologne that only make Kolsch. And when it's served to you, it comes in a tiny little serving. The glass is like a test tube. And the reason for that is apparently because... Well, they have the minimum amount of surface area in contact with the air at any given time, hence the test tube sized tiny little glasses. Because if Kolsch is exposed to the air for any length of time, it goes flat in seconds.
Yep.
So you're supposed to just knock it back, and then they refill your glass, or they bring you fresh glasses. Although that never really happened when I was in Cologne. They'd serve you this one tiny little glass and you'd knock it back and then you'd be sitting
probably
there,
on purpose.
Sitting there 10 minutes waiting for the bartender to come around again with, you know, anyway.
Which comes to question, I wonder if they do cheat tourists with those glasses, because a lot of bars, they cheat tourists with the amount that they put in a glass.
No, that's just the way Kolsch is served. It's a Cologne thing.
Alright. Still,
it's piss.
You know how I am. I'm cynical.
So anyway, I'm drinking Erdinger, which apparently is aus Bayern, which I think means from Bayern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty straightforward.
Bavarian, I believe. It's a Weissbrau, or a wheat beer. Yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. People were saying, drink them out of glasses properly. The bottle's made of glass. Let's see what the problem is. And that's the perfect thing to be drinking Kolsch out of. You can't drink it out of a proper glass because it's minimal surface area in contact with the air. So, anyway, moving on swiftly. The script. Yeah, look, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I have to try reading that. So
you'll be like,
so bear with me.
At the end of this.
So the first thing I wanted to talk about was scams.
Oh dear.
Yeah, because I had received, and it was bizarre. I mean, I get the occasional email scam comes through, occasionally, but this week I got like 3 of them, all in the space of 2 days. And some of them they're actually starting to get quite inventive. Cause normally you've got the kind of email scam that just relies on you being, stupid, or old, and or vulnerable, and not really understanding the internet, trying to trick you into clicking on a link, for example. Some of them are actually starting to get quite sophisticated. And if they were written by somebody for whom English was their first language, they might actually be quite good. But I got an email the other day from someone trying to make me believe that they were the TV licensing authority. Now, I don't know if this is just a British thing, but in Britain, you need a TV license. Except I don't need a TV license because I don't watch. You see, you don't need a license if you watch streaming services like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and that's all we watch. We also have the Channel 4 subscription service. But you don't need a TV license as long as you're not watching stuff that's being broadcast live. So the Channel 4 service is called All4, is a video on demand streaming service. So we catch up on stuff like Travel Man with Richard Ayoade. Yeah. So I don't need a TV license. So I was very surprised when I got a message claiming to be from the TV licensing authority, letting me know that they were unable to process my latest TV license payment. Apparently my credit card had expired, and if I would just click on this little link here and re-input my credit card details, they would sort out my TV license for me. Yeah, I don't think so. So that one wasn't particularly sophisticated. But then the same day I got an email claiming to be from HMRC, or Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, so the tax man, telling me that I was due a tax rebate. Woohoo! Money back on my tax. And could I just, and this is where I have to try to read, could I just enter my details just by clicking this little link? It's strange because my accountant didn't tell me this. Yeah. And I actually spoke to the accountant because financial year, April, new year, I had to do my tax returns and blah, blah, blah. And my accountant had no idea that I was due a tax rebate, which is surprising because that's their fucking job. So I didn't fall for that one either. However, a couple of days later, this was a good one. I got an email from App Store. So I don't know if it was like the Apple App Store or the Google App Store or whatever, just App Store. And the email was titled, "Thank," not thanks or thank you, just thank. "Your games item has been processed." What? It said, "Dear customers," not customers, just customers. Yeah. "Thank you for your purchase. Your games purchase has been processed."
Notice how your games is also doesn't have a capital on the Ypsilon.
Please, and this is where I have to struggle to read the badly printed because my printer just decided that today it was going to run out of ink. Blah 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 blah. Oh yeah. Please check the open the attachment for manage or cancel your order. Now, this is actually, okay, it's in atrociously badly written English, but it's actually quite clever because if you get an email saying, this is your receipt, your invoice for the games that you just bought, you think, I haven't just bought any games. Because he's playing with her little fishy.
She's looking so adorable.
Because if you get an email saying, this is the receipt for the games that you just bought, blah, 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 a transaction ID here, if you believe you've received this email in error, please click here. The first thing you're going to do is like, I thought, hang on a minute. So I opened the link in an incognito window.
It's a trap.
Because it's a trap. And there's a PDF file with an invoice for, I think it came to something like £35 for a game that I'd never heard of, some mobile game that there was no way I was
Raid Shadow Legends!
Yeah, no way I was ever going to buy this game. I'd never heard of it. And a whole bunch of microtransactions within that game. So the game was like £5 and the microtransactions were £30.
Yeah.
£35, and I thought, well, it's not a lot of money, but you know, it's not nothing either. And so, if you believe this transaction was made in error, please click this link to
put your information maybe and cancel it. Yeah.
So this attachment was a PDF file which I saved into a protected folder, scanned, and then opened to see an invoice for, it was actually $32.98 for some in-game purchase in some mobile game I'd never heard of, billed to credit card, not my credit card number, not the last 6 digits of my credit card, just credit card, with an actual, where is it? A completely anonymous URL. If I wanted to report,
anonymous.
It was one of those like tiny.url links, so you couldn't see what you were clicking on. If I wanted to report any problems with the transaction, if that had been written in slightly better English, I might have fallen for it. So they're actually getting quite clever. Now this one never actually happened to me, but I started to get interested in email scams, so I started looking up, what the latest email scams are. And a couple of these were mentioned. There's actually a British government website.
Okay.
When you're on Facebook or Twitter, you constantly see these things that, pass on to everybody that you know. This is the latest scam that's going around.
Yeah.
And getting you to pass it on to everybody that you know is the scam.
You need to talk to your mum about that.
Yes, I do. Well, she's old.
Bless her. I love her to bits.
And I love her to bits, but she's as thick as a whale sandwich. Really, she falls for anything.
That explains a lot.
Oi, stop it. She's my mum. I can say what I like about her. So apparently a number of these different scams were all listed on this British government website, warning people. So, if you are British and you see something that looks suspicious, check the website out. And you'll straight away, it will tell you. But this one is particularly nasty. So I haven't told you about this one, so we'll get to see your reaction.
All right.
People are getting phoned up. And the phone call will go something like this. Good morning. I'm calling from the National Health Service Track and Trace Service. According to our systems, you're likely to have been in close proximity to someone who was tested positive for COVID-19. This means that you now need to self-isolate for 7 days and take the COVID-19 test. If you say, okay, who was this who was this person that I'm supposed to have been in contact with? They'll reply, I'm unable to tell you that, that's confidential information. But you do need to be treated within the next 72 hours. So if I can just get the best mailing address so we can send the testing kit out to you. So these are a self-administered test from the National Health Service.
That thing goes like all the way back into your nasal. You don't want to do that yourself. I wouldn't.
So, okay, you give them the address. They then say, thank you, I just need to take a payment card so we can finalise this and send the kit to you.
Yeah.
What? I thought this was supposed to be free. It is free. Right? It's certainly in this country. If you take the National Health Service in Britain, the service is free. If you have to take a COVID-19 test, it will be administered at a National Health Service health centre or hospital, and you won't have to pay for it. They do not send the testing kits to you to self-administer, and they certainly don't charge you a £500 fee for it. Yeah, it gets better. There's a one-off fee of £500 for the kit, they say, and the test results. Could you read off the long card number for me when you're ready? And if you object to this request, they say, look, give me the card number, please. This is very important, and there are penalties for not complying.
That's the usual tactic that they do.
This is the sort of thing that is designed to target the weak and vulnerable.
Yeah.
Your grandmother.
Yeah.
Right?
Fuck those people.
Fuck these people. Do they have no shame trying to take advantage of a global pandemic health situation to rip off the elderly and the stupid? I mean, seriously, fuck these people.
There's a guy on Twitch. He also uploads to YouTube after he's done. He spends days on end just contacting scammers. Oh. And he has those voice modifiers, and he's live streaming, he's talking with them, and he has like a wig. So sometimes it's a woman, and then I can't remember his name. But sometimes he's put like his voice. And then the guy on the other side, usually it's Indian, he starts flirting with her. It's like, I'd like to know you better, and stuff like that. It's kind of funny.
There's a couple of guys that make videos specifically of their conversations with scammers.
I absolutely love to watch that.
They'll keep them going.
Yeah.
Until the scammer gives up.
Yes.
And they're great.
It's amazing hearing them raging. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to the next subject. How would you like 742 games for $5?
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's a rhetorical question, because of course you do. And again, this is where, because we're still on the first page, I have to try to decipher the badly printed, because the printer's running out of ink, text.
That's another scam. Printer, and they're pink.
Oh God, yeah, don't get me started on that one. You know when you buy a new printer, and it comes with an ink cartridge?
Yeah.
Do you know that ink cartridge is deliberately underfilled?
Mm-hmm.
So within days you have to buy a new one?
Yep.
You ever wonder why printers are so cheap and ink cartridges are so expensive?
Yep.
There was a case, I was reading about it on this guy called Simon Whistler, who does a YouTube channel called Today I Found Out. It's really good. There's another one called Business Blaze, where he just rips into dodgy businesses. And ink cartridge refills, I can't remember which company it was, but it was one of the big ones. They tried to sue a company who had figured out that there was something in the ink cartridge that was designed to trigger a warning early for you to buy a new cartridge, even when you didn't actually need to buy a new cartridge, or that would disable the ink cartridge if it was refilled. And this company, a small independent company, had figured out how to disable the thing that would... I've completely forgot what I just said.
The warning.
Yeah. No. He figured out a way to disable the thing that would disable the ink cartridge if you tried to refill it, because the refill was ridiculously cheap. So they were taking this big companies, I don't know, it might have been Hewlett Packard, it might have been Epsom, I don't know, printer cartridges, disabling the booby trap on them, and then refilling them and selling them at a fair price. And the big company tried to take them to court.
Yep.
And the judge basically threw them out because fuck you.
That's amazing.
You predatory twats.
Do you know what we need to do next time?
What's that?
Just buy one that does not require paint. There are printers.
It's called ink.
Ink, yes, thank you. I know you just said the word in English.
That's a laser printer.
I used to have one, and I used to print everything on it. It was amazing.
Okay.
We need to upgrade to that and screw those companies that...
I like that other printer though, because it's wireless. I don't have to have it in the same room as the PC.
So is those new ones, Paul. It's 2020, Mr.
Yes,
Boomer.
but this one works.
But the other one may be a bit expensive, but at the end of the day, you end up saving, because ink.
I usually
only
print once a year when I'm doing my tax.
And now once a week.
Okay.
See? Woman is right.
Anyway, 742 games for $5. So, this line is completely unreadable. But there's a bundle. I'll find the link and I'll put it in the description. The bundle for racial justice and equality. It's a $5 minimum donation for 742 games from 561 indie games creators.
That reminds me, that's amazing. First of all, that is amazing.
742 games for $5. I mean, I'm sure that the majority are going to be terrible, but if even one of them is a good game, you've only paid $5.
I wonder if those are Steam codes, and then input all those Steam codes in.
But
still, it's an amazing price.
Don't know, but check out the link if you're interested.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, it includes both PC games and tabletop games in digital format, which you can play on your PC. The proceeds from the bundle will go to the NAACP Legal Defence and Educational Fund and the Community Bail Fund in support of anti-racist, anti-police brutality protests calling for justice around the world today.
Yeah.
So, now the second page isn't too bad. It's only the bottom that's not printed properly. Ah, yes. So do you remember we were talking about Cyberpunk 2070? We're doing a big thing this month. Night City Wire. It's coming out on the 11th of June. A big reveal of new stuff.
All right.
You sat there right next to me while I talked and got all excited about it while I talked about it in an episode of Mingles with Jingles like 3 weeks ago.
I forgot about that.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, there's this thing called Night City Wire, which is a big reveal of upcoming new features and gameplay footage. Apparently, I mean, they're not saying that it is and it isn't, but they're hinting that it is, for Cyberpunk 2070. And it was supposed to happen on the 11th of June, so just under 2 weeks. Well, CD Projekt Red don't want to talk about something as trivial as games when this much shit is going on in the world.
Bless them.
CD Projekt Red, always classy.
Yep.
So it's been delayed until later this month.
I don't mind.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And they're not the only ones. As a result of the ongoing protests, most game events scheduled for this weekend and next week have been pushed back. So the Guerrilla Collective, the Guerrilla Collective, the PC Gaming Show and the Future Games Show were all scheduled for Saturday, June the 6th, just this weekend gone. They'll now take place on Saturday, June the 13th. Electronic Arts Play Live was scheduled for Thursday the 11th of June. It'll now be broadcast on Thursday, June the 18th. Yes, Akazuki, June the 18th, that's right, yeah. The Steam Game Festival, Summer Edition, supposed to start on June the 9th, will now start on June the 16th. So if you look forward to any of those, they've been delayed. So, yeah.
Good.
It's nice to see they're being slightly classy. I was very surprised to see Electronic Arts amongst them, but hey, there it is. Speaking of scumbag games publishers...
There must be that segment now.
Take-Two Interactive. So the publishers of Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Late last year, Take-Two Interactive delayed the release of Kerbal Space Program 2.
Okay.
Until the next financial year. So financial year 2020-2021. So April from this year on. No, whatever, you know what I mean. Then in February this year, they announced that development would be moved from the original creators, Star Theory Games, to a new studio founded by Take-Two's Private Division label. They then sent messages to all of Star Theory's employees via LinkedIn, telling them to apply for jobs at the new studio. So one developer was busy doing Kerbal Space Program 2. Take-Two delayed production of the game just long enough to set up another studio, then announced that they were cancelling development with the original studio, moving it to their own studio, and sent messages to the employees of the first studio telling them to apply for jobs at the new one.
You know, knowing how kind of some gaming companies operate, this is trying to underhand someone. Yeah.
It seems, and I'm sure that this is a completely unrelated news item, that the original studio, Star Theory, they wanted to sell this whole studio to Take-Two, but they couldn't agree on a price that Take-Two would be happy to pay for the studio. Now, I'm sure this had absolutely nothing to do with Take-Two firing the studio and stealing all of its employees. Star Theory was dissolved as a company in March 2020. What a bunch of scumbags.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject, Ubisoft.
What is it now?
So, have you heard of Trackmania?
Yeah, I've heard, but I don't really know what it is.
It's an arcade racing game where the tracks are just impossible to build in reality. So they've got it's like if you were driving around on a kid's Matchbox car racing set with big loop-the-loops and so on and so on.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I used to play games like that growing up.
Not my sort of thing, but a very, very popular game. I think the original game, Trackmania, came out in 2006, something like that. Well, they're doing a remake of Trackmania Nations.
Yep.
And one of the best things about Trackmania was the fact that it came with a track editor, so you could design your own tracks.
That's cool.
It's a bit like that Marvel Racers thing that you see people using for intermissions on Twitch.
Yes.
Where you can just type play and you take anyway. Yeah, similar sort of thing. It's strong community-led creative element to the game where people design their own tracks and other people play them. Ubisoft announced a somewhat unusual pricing scheme for the upcoming Trackmania Nations reboot last week. The base game will be free-to-play game.
Okay. But
full access to the track editor, which is a fairly major part of Trackmania's appeal, costs $10 per year. While full-on, it's not a lot.
No.
It's not. $10 a year isn't a lot. While full-on club access, which includes admission to special racing leagues, exclusive skins and all that sort of thing, is $30 per year. That's
a strange format.
That's
I mean, the modded one, I actually don't see much problem with it because it will kind of solve the issue that some companies have with their modding communities and wanting to milk money out of them. 10 quid a year does not sound like... I mean, it's not even 1 quid a month.
But this is where it starts to get complicated and confusing and downright ridiculous.
Alright.
So $30 a year, I mean, nobody's saying that Trackmania is a AAA PC games release. You know, it's not Red Dead Redemption 2, it's not Cyberpunk 2070, but $30 is about the kind of price that you'd expect to pay for a game like Trackmania if it was a one-off purchase. And they want $30 every year. Gets better. Here we go. Predictably, some of those who are looking forward to the game are not happy about the scheme. Trackmania fans in the Reddit thread said they'd rather pay full price to own the game permanently, or that they're unhappy with subscription-based pricing as a matter of general principle. In response to complaints, I'm not making this shit up, okay? This is true. In response to complaints, Ubisoft posted a message on the Mania Planet forums stating that Trackmania doesn't use subscription pricing at all. Wait for it. And I'm quoting, actually,
yeah.
It's not a subscription model, but an access to the game for a limited time. You pay for having access to the game for one period, and that's it, a Ubisoft rep wrote. When the time is over, you have to buy the game again for the time that you want to access it again. Remind me what a subscription model is.
That's what I was about to ask.
Actually, it's not a subscription model at all. You just pay to unlock access to the game for a certain period of time, and then when that period of time ends, you have to pay again. That's a fucking subscription.
Yeah.
So, first of all, they're releasing Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay trailers and redefining what the fucking word gameplay means, because there's no gameplay whatsoever in the trailer. And now they're trying to redefine what the word subscription means.
I mean, it's the same thing as, and I was saying earlier, it's the same thing as Wargaming not wanting people to call gold shells as gold shells.
Yes,
it's
special ammunition.
And, it's the latest? It's not that new, but the information that they've always sent to us, to the community contributors, they call them leaks now.
Oh, so they leak stuff to you now?
Yeah, they're leaks. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, it gets better.
Yeah.
See, there appears to be some confusion as to what is and isn't included at the free tier. So, free-to-play thing. And this is kind of contributing towards the upset. For one thing, the initial post in that thread states that the track editor is only available at the $10 tier. But the pricing frequently asked questions file states that the full editor is included at no charge. And the limitation is that it's restricted to saving just one track. So left hand, this is right hand, radio check over. They don't know, left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. It also isn't clear how exactly server access will be restricted. The pricing page says free players will be able to try map review stages, but they'll pay for standard access, and we'll have full oh no, sorry, yeah. Unfortunately, this is another. It's right at the bottom of the page where the printer failed. So,
That's the thing about. Pardon. You wanted to finish something?
Yeah, I wanted to finish this.
Yeah, do it.
So, it's not a subscription, even though it is a subscription. Well, a couple of days later, a Ubisoft rep got wheeled out. This I thought was hilarious. Do you remember when the whole loot box shit exploded thanks to Electronic Arts and Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Yeah, I remember that.
There ended up being congressional hearings, and EA executives were hauled in front of Congress to answer questions. And I actually saw the video of, I can't remember who it was, some shark in a suit from EA, who at least had the good grace to look embarrassed and just kind of sat there. It was glorious to watch as they squirmed in their seat when the hearing commissioner started talking about loot boxes, and she said, well, actually, we don't call them loot boxes. We like to call them surprise mechanics.
Oh,
she couldn't even look the commissioner in the eye when she was saying that. Well, Ubisoft are, yeah.
Surprise mechanics.
Yes.
I had forgotten about that.
Apparently, Trackmania's CEO replied within a couple of days, saying, "Well, okay, it is a subscription, but that's not the point."
Yeah.
I'm afraid it is the point. It very much is the point. He said that many of the complaints arose from gamers who want to pay for the game once and own it forever. He described that as a delicate issue. Pay for the game once and own it forever. What, you mean like the way we buy every other fucking game we own?
That's the thing. A lot of gaming companies are trying to shift that around.
Yeah, that's what
and
they
it's
want.
Another disgusting thing.
Yeah, that's what they want. They don't want the game to be something that you buy and play and enjoy, because then they can't get more money out of you. They want them to be live services.
Yeah.
And they don't like to call them micro. When was the last time you heard a games publisher refer to a microtransaction as a microtransaction? That word has become verboten. Now they're recurrent user payments.
You sound like Jim Sterling there for a second.
Oh shit! Sorry,
You really
Jim.
did.
Sorry, Jim. I love you, but I don't mean to copy you. Oh, Ubisoft! Oh, I did it again. So yeah. Do you ever wonder what became of all those people who were the subject of memes? Like Bad
They
Luck
grew
Brian,
up. They got old.
Scumbag Steve,
Yeah.
overly possessive girlfriend,
Yeah.
Ermagerd Burke's girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had to think about how I was going to do this, because I needed to have something to show to Rita that we could talk about, but I'm also going to have to stick it up on screen as well, so you know what we're on about. Although these memes are famous. I mean, they're prehistoric memes. They've been around forever. So, Ermagerd, choose your own adventure. That is Maggie Goldenberger when she was 11 years old.
She's gorgeous looking now.
Yeah.
She's very pretty.
That's what she looks like now. I think she's 21 now or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
She used to play dress up with her friends and create outrageous characters. That was a Polaroid picture of what an 11-year-old thought was funny. Somehow, 9 years later, it ended up on Reddit. Bear in mind, right, this was a Polaroid picture. This was taken in the days before we had digital cameras. So it was a Polaroid stuck to her mum's fridge for 9 years.
Wow.
And then suddenly appeared on Reddit, and the rest is history. How about Bad Luck Brian? Tries to stealthily fart in class. Shits.
Oh my god. Of course you picked that one.
Of course. Bad Luck Brian is actually Carl Craven, who is now 30 years old and looks like that.
Yeah.
The picture was taken for his high school yearbook when he was deliberately making a funny face. And his best friend posted it on Facebook. Reddit got a hold of it. You know the rest. So yeah, coming up on screen. No, there. That's him today. Do you remember Overly Attached Girlfriend?
Yes.
Oh,
I think she has a channel. She's very nice.
I like Overly Attached Girlfriend. She's the same age as you, you know. She's born in 91.
That explains a lot.
What? So, overly possessive girlfriend is actually Lena Morris. She's now 28, and she made the character in a video submission to a contest held by Justin Bieber, who challenged fans to create a girlfriend counterpart to his hit song, Boyfriend. The video, which satirised elements of the Bieber song that have been perceived as clingy, featured Morris staring at the camera with a fixed smile while singing about Facebook stalking her boyfriend and other memes. And this is her today.
She's very nice.
She's very nice. And like you said, yeah, she actually managed to turn the meme into a pretty successful YouTube and minor internet celebrity career. The YouTube channel had more than 1.2 million subscribers, although last year she announced she was going to stop making videos and has now quit YouTube.
Yeah.
Bummer. When Blake Boston, who funnily enough is from Boston, woke up one morning and saw Scumbag Steve all over the internet, he was a bit upset. He didn't even know what a meme was.
Oh, poor bugger.
And he was furious that total strangers were calling him a scumbag. He contacted websites and demanded that they remove the meme. They wouldn't. And they told him, just relax, it'll be over in a few weeks. Memes rarely last long.
It's a classic. It's almost like meme canon.
Yeah. Scumbag Steve. Hey, can I borrow everything? Yeah. Blake said that the reason it hurt so much was because he was actually a bit of a scumbag.
Yeah.
He was notorious among his friends for borrowing lighters and never giving them back, and he wasn't above stealing a girlfriend if you were at a bar with him and went to the bathroom for a minute. He's not like that anymore, or so he claims. And now both he and his mother all find it pretty funny. He's quite happy to stop in the street for a selfie anytime he gets recognised, and he's used to people yelling scumbag at him in the street. And people even make memes out of the selfies that they take with him. You know, if you're the overly possessive girlfriend,
Yes.
I mean, it's not that bad, because one, you look like that.
And I understand also why the ink has run out. Look at all this coloured stuff.
Well, you prefer for me to rely on your memory. Well, actually, yeah. She couldn't remember the name of what was it? What was it we were talking about in 2 weeks ago that you couldn't remember we were addressing? It was in this.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you don't remember, do you?
No.
Yeah. But memes, photographic memory.
Yes.
So yeah, I thought I'll need to print these out for Rita. I needn't have bothered. But can you imagine what that's be like? Because if you're Bad Luck Brian, it's kind of funny.
Mm.
And in fact, you got recognised by Seth Rogen, and Seth Rogen asked to take a selfie with him. Which is weird because the picture was taken when he was in 7th grade, and now he's 30. But Seth Rogen still recognised him. And if you're overly possessive girlfriend, it's not that bad, you know. People might make a quick joke, but but if you're scumbag Steve, although he did try to make a bit of a go of it. He released a song they called it Scumbag Thursday or something.
All right.
And he released a song every Thursday onto iTunes.
I wasn't aware of that, but fair enough.
Rap song, of course, as you can probably tell by the hat. He's got himself a manager, and he's doing all right apparently. So, but still, I think there are better things to be famous for than being Scumbag Steve.
That's how can I say? Do you know that Rick Ashley barely made any money out of the meme?
Yeah. Oh, the meme?
Yeah, it's like a meme, like slash.
Yeah, I know, but
prank.
Rick Astley had retired before the meme came out.
Yes, I'm aware of that, but he barely made any money.
Why would he make money from the meme? It's not like he
Because he gets played extra times on YouTube because people put, hiding links. And
here's the thing about Rick Astley.
Yeah.
So Rick Astley was signed up by a recording. I don't know what the right word is.
Company.
Yeah. Stock, Aitken and Waterman.
Yeah.
And Steve Waterman, who signed Rick Astley, and they basically wrote all of his songs. He had a really good voice.
Oh, yeah.
He did have an excellent voice. He was a great singer. But he wasn't into pop songs. Right? Have you ever heard his version of When I Fall in Love?
No.
Right? He loved singing the blues, he loved singing soul, jazz. Pop wasn't his thing. But he had a contract with Stock Aitken and Waterman.
So he had to.
So he kind of had to. And he got paid. He didn't get paid particularly well for it because that's what Stock Aitken and Waterman did. They liked Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
Right? They're just like, I can make a couple of million out of you.
Yeah.
Stock Aitken and Waterman were the ones that discovered Kylie Minogue, by the way. They gave her the first recording contract. They weren't quite as parasitic as Simon Cowell is. Simon Cowell.
Cowell.
But they were trying to keep the thing going for as long as they could. But they were driving back. Steve Waterman was in his limo with Rick Astley. And Rick had been riding the top of the charts for about a year. And they were talking about his next album. And Rick just said, I can't do this anymore, Steve.
Yeah.
I'm done, this isn't me. And he told them to stop the car. And he got out in the middle of the road in Manchester somewhere. And Steve Waterman never saw him again. I mean, he didn't wander off and kill himself or anything, but he just dropped out of the public eye.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't him. Singing pop songs was not what he was about.
It's or you are with it or you're against it pretty much, and you just have to Yeah.
So I mean, I was never a fan of Rick Astley because he sang pop songs.
Yep.
Manufactured pop songs. He didn't write any of the stuff. And I was never a fan. But when I found out years later about why he disappeared, I had so much respect for him.
Yeah.
And of course, then the Rickroll thing happened.
I absolutely love that song.
But at that point, Rick Astley wouldn't have wanted any of the money from it.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because that's just not what he was about.
I absolutely love that song. And most people are like, no, don't play it, no! But it's a decent song. It's catchy. The lyrics are not bad.
That was the thing about Stock Aitken and Waterman. They did have some very good songwriters. I mean, regardless of whether you listen to pop music or not, they have some great songwriters working for them, writing tunes for, Kylie Minogue, Rick Astley, and a whole bunch of, particularly the 80s and 90s, mega successful pop stars. So, they knew what they were doing. They were they weren't like Simon Cowell, who would just pick you up, use you and throw you away.
Yeah.
They did like to, because they enjoyed making money, so they tried to get the most they possibly could out of their stars. In some cases, it was a massive, roaring success, like Kylie Minogue. I couldn't believe it when I first saw Kylie Minogue's first single, because she was an actress on an Australian soap opera. That's where she started.
All right.
Neighbours.
I had no idea.
Yeah, she was. Do you remember? Oh God, what's his name? Another Australian actor, teen actor, famous celebrity, Jason Donovan. You don't remember Jason Donovan?
It's familiar, but it's not. I'm not getting his face in my mind.
Jason Donovan and Kylie Minogue played two characters who were boyfriend and girlfriend on this Australian soap opera.
Okay.
And then they both started music careers at the same time. Both signed up to Stock Aitken and Waterman, and Jason Donovan sank without a trace, and Kylie Minogue's Kylie Minogue.
Alright.
But her first single was like, I should be so lucky, 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 lucky.
Was that her?
That was Kylie Minogue.
Holy
yes.
crap, I had no idea. I thought that was
you know, kids.
Yeah. I thought that was something like Madonna or something like that. That's the thing, Kylie Minogue was not that really big in Portugal. So
I'm amazed that Kylie Minogue's big anywhere, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I kind of never really had the Kylie Minogue face.
I'll tell you,
I never had a Madonna face, that's for sure.
There was what was that movie with The Rock? San Andreas.
Yes.
Where he's a helicopter rescue pilot and he has to get to his family who are in San Francisco when the fault, blah blah blah.
She's asking for petting.
Oh, Wacky hello. Kylie Minogue's in that movie.
Alright.
His wife is having lunch with this horrible business executive played by Kylie Minogue, and she dies.
Yeah.
So I love that movie because they killed Kylie Minogue. It's not a bad movie actually. Also, it's got Alessandra Daddario in it.
You're creeping me out now.
Oh yeah.
know.
You know Alessandra.
I know people will make a GIF out of this.
Probably, I hope so. I want to be the subject of a meme. I want to be famous.
Oh, come on.
You know Alessandra Daddario?
No.
Do you remember True Detective? Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah.
Do you remember Woody Harrelson was having an affair with the clerk at the county court?
Yes.
That was Alessandra Daddario.
Alright.
There was some very, very hot sex scenes with Woody Harrelson and Alessandra Daddario. That's why I remember it.
No.
Damn, she's nice.
You were saying something, but then I wanted to say something back and I forgot. So.
Well, anyway.
Yes.
I exhausted my script about 10 minutes ago.
Yes.
Akizuki.
This is your baby.
Hey, baby. What's going on? Want to get some scratches?
She's asking for a lot of attention.
Well, I'm going to scratch my cat. And that's it.
Okay.
So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, even though everything went wrong and the script wouldn't print out properly.
She's trying to escape.
Well, then let her go.
Yes, I don't want to force her to be on camera, because we ain't like that.
No.
It's
And
okay.
I hope you enjoyed it. And it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Catch you next time.
To you. Like the brothers.
The Chuckle Brothers.
Yeah.
You're going to have to Google the Chuckle Brothers because I'm not explaining it.
And I'll catch you next time.